Well, do you know what? Sir Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, has recently unveiled his grand plan to tackle the small boat crisis, and Nigel Farage, like a lot of us, is not impressed. In fact, he declared a very, very big mistake. And if anything, it's kind of like a boxing match, isn't it? Where one fighter brings a feather duster to the ring, and that fighter would be Keir Starmer. But just what is Starmer's master plan? Well, to be honest, it is treating people smugglers like terrorists, which in itself doesn't sound too bad, but the bit where he's hinting at an EU returns agreement involving quotas of migrants from the bloc doesn't really fill me full of much hope. I mean, a lot of people will say it's bold, but Nigel Farage, on the other hand, insists this plan is a flop waiting to happen, and he warns it will drag Britain closer to Brussels, and of course we all know how that story will go, don't we? So in his signature style, Farage didn't really hold back on the sarcasm either. He says that today we've learned what the Labour solution to the Channel crisis, or perhaps some would say Channel emergency, is. And Nigel, of course, couldn't resist on making a few digs either. He says this whole take a lead in Europe rhetoric has quite a familiar ring to it. And to be honest, I definitely agree with him. And it is a very slippery slope in my opinion. But of course, Keir Starmer isn't done there, is he? Because he wants to join Europol, not Interpol, because, nation-state police forces cooperating together probably isn't as full on as the EU's own police force, is it? But, here's the thing. Even when we were EU members, we kind of avoided the EU's refugee and asylum policy like it was a bad dinner with a questionable potato salad. Yet Starmer, he probably wants to cosy up to Brussels and have tea with President Macron, or maybe, who knows, other things too. Along with, of course, hoping the French will play nice to stop the boats. But, I just can't see that happening because, if anything, in my opinion, it's kind of like saying, let's visit a haunted house, even though we of course know that it's full of ghosts. And as Farage points out, in return, we'll take a load of Mediterranean migrants with 8,000 people landing on Lampedusa in the past 3 days. And to top it all off, Farage reckons this plan won't even stop the boats anyway. And if anything, in my opinion, it's kind of like using a sieve to plug a leak. And he also points out that with this, we could actually end up taking more people arriving illegally from other parts of the world than we currently do. And if anything, it's kind of like trying to lose weight but buying a bigger wardrobe. Counterproductive to say the least. But anyway, the article goes a bit further and says that Rishi Sunak claimed the proposals could result in 100,000 EU migrants coming to the UK every year, while Home Secretary Suella Braverman said the Labour leader would let the UK become a dumping ground for Europe's migrants. But of course, Sir Keir said that response was typical from the government that's completely lost control of the situation. Well, it doesn't really sound that he's going to do much better, does it? In fact, probably worse. But he also added that it's embarrassing the government is pumping out all this nonsense. I can only assume it's because they got nothing sensible to say on the issue. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's just Keir Starmer who's made a silly move, because in this video, it appears that Aldi has just insulted every single one of their customers.